Hi, this is Rock. We're going to look at Hstack and Vstack functions. So if you see H and V as the prefix to any function name in Excel, you can pretty much guarantee that the H stands for horizontal and the V stands for vertical. And that is the case with Hstack and Vstack. With Hstack, we're stacking things horizontally, and with Vstack, we're stacking them vertically. Let's say I've got a sequence here of one row with 5, and then I've got another of one row with 4, and then I've got another one here with one row and 2, for example. Okay, so I've got these. I can make an H stack of these, which is to stack them horizontally. And I can use this array as the first argument. I can use this array as the second argument, and this array as the third argument. If I hit enter on this, it stacks them up. You see the 1 through 5 here, 1 through 4 there, and then the 1 and 2 stacked horizontally. We can do the same thing with Vstack. If I have these sequences, there's a 5, there's a 4, and I'm going to put the 2 here. And then if I want to stack these vertically, I can use the Vstack. Grab that array, separate with a comma, grab that array, close that parentheses. Here's my 1 through 5 stacked up on top of the 1 through 4, stacked up on top of the 1 and 2. You can also just, as your arguments in the Vstack, you can put things other than arrays. I'm going to put here's 5, and then use this array as the next argument. Then I'm going to grab that, use the Alt Enter, paste this on my next line. I'm going to say here's 4, and change this from F12 to H13. And then I'm going to paste it again and say 2. And now I'll use this. And instead of that comma, I'll close that. And let's see what that looks like. So you can use as arguments within your Vstack text, references, calculations. It's all open to what you need to do. Let's say 6 times 8 is the first argument here. So we've got 48. So Vstack and Hstack are wonderful for working with arrays, absolutely easy to use, helpful. One thing to watch out for is it's counting on the same numbers of columns and rows. So for example, if I changed this to a Vstack here, if I've Vstacked these, see how I've got not applicables here? And that's because it'll give an error if it's trying to stack things that are not in the same count. This has 1 row and 5 columns. This has 1 row and 4 columns. So when it gets to the 5th column, it doesn't know what to put there, so it does an error. Just so you know, that's part of what you want to consider when you're doing Vstack and Hstack is what you're stacking in the same dimensionality. Does it have the same number of columns and rows? So keep that in mind. All right, that was Hstack and Vstack. Next, we're going to look at 2-col and 2-row. So see you then.